Okay, here we are at the Great Escape once again on one of the Fright Nights. I think it's Saturday of the Fright Nights. I don't know what it means. Anyways, this is the Blizzard, and everyone is getting ready to go on the Blizzard, including them, who are the Matts and Tim, and they're in the back. You probably can't tell who they are, but they're there. So basically, a little background on this ride. It's called the Blizzard. And for those of you who don't know, this was actually a very famous lawsuit arose from this very ride. You see, what happened is the Great Escape, when it first opened, actually made this ride and put it in. It was the first of its kind. They called it the Duck Blizzard, or the DQ Blizzard as it was more commonly known after the 50s. And what happened is that this ride was very popular, and it brought people around from all over the world, even royalty. And what happened is that the Dairy Queen herself actually arrived here, and when she was waiting in line, she saw the ride go. And it'll be obvious later. But what happened is when the ride goes, it actually spins the 3 different sets of carts all around, also with the center part spinning around. So she thought of that, and she was like, well, what if I did that to my ice cream? Being the Dairy Queen that she is, she was a very forward thinker. So what she did is she came up with this idea, and she named it after herself. She called it the DQ Blizzard. And this caused a lot of major issues with the Great Escape, because they thought that it was their name. They originally came up with it, and they wanted a cut of all of the Dairy Queen's profits from her new thing called the Blizzard. So what actually happened is it went to the Second Circuit Court in, I believe it was 73, and it was famously ruled that the Great Escape had no rights to any of the Dairy Queen's money, despite her making literally trillions of dollars off of DQ Blizzards. So what happened is the Great Escape, out of spite, changed the name from the DQ Blizzard, or the Duck Blizzard as it was originally called, and turned the name into just Blizzard. Because of this, people got very confused when they came to the park because they wanted to ride the Duck Blizzard and they only had the Blizzard. So they thought they had lost something because of the letters that were missing. So what happened was that eventually this ride stopped getting all the maintenance it deserved, and eventually became the dilapidated spinny thingy that it is today. In its glory days back in the 60s, it was really a sight to behold, and it's kind of tragic looking at it today in the way that it is. So they're announcing the instructions on how to ride it, and you'll, in a couple of seconds, be able to see why the DQ herself, the Dairy Queen, came up with her idea for the Blizzard. Now this is If You're Happy and You Know It, which was actually written by the guy who's singing it right now. So, he was the original person who was the operator of the Blizzard. So it is actually quite something listening to him do his rendition of his original song on the first ride that he ever worked at, and honestly the only ride he's ever looked at. Oh look, here comes Matt and Tim. Oh, they are not. They are less than pleased with me for some reason. Now let's see who comes up to us this time. Oh look, it's Matt! Now as you can see, as it spins, it is very reminiscent of the DQ Blizzard. Now originally, if you look up on top, there's that little spike. That originally used to shoot candy out of it, and the candy would rain down in little pieces on the people spinning, and they just open their mouths, and they'd be able to catch the food. Which is actually where she got her idea, because she thought of it as a bunch of ice cream where the concrete is, and what would happen is you'd be throwing stuff in, and then the things would be spinning and mixing it into the ice cream, and that's how the DQ Blizzard came to be. Now, this ride is actually quite interesting from a physics perspective, because what happens is people actually can't feel velocity, they feel acceleration. So what this does is it has them spinning on several axes, so you're constantly accelerating or decelerating. So you constantly have a feeling of motion, a feeling of something happening. And that's physics. Welcome to physics class, folks. Bet you didn't expect to get that after that story about the Dairy Queen. So yeah, so this is the Blizzard, or rather, my apologies, Blizzard, originally the Duck Blizzard at the Great Escape and Splashwater Kingdom, which sadly isn't the Splashwater Kingdom right now because it's too cold and no one's dumb enough to try to go into the water right now. It's probably frozen because it's 50 degrees outside, and I believe that's when things freeze. So this is it. Hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of history about the Great Escape, and yeah, hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.